Welcome to the Introvert's Guide to Market Research. Introverts rejoice because we are on stage 2 of our ethically lazy research framework, introverted research. So we have surveyed our client, if you remember this diagram, and we've determined that that is not enough. We are now moving on to real-world research. We've prepared our customer Zukan document, and we're going to go and do some introverted research. Now, why do I keep calling it that? Because at this stage, you don't have to talk to anybody. Yay! It's all online. So where do you do introverted research? Well, my favorite place is somewhere like Reddit, because there is a subreddit for everything. It's totally anonymous and people share absolute gold. And you can get upvotes to show you what is most popular. So I love Reddit. Forums are also good. They're kind of like Reddit and people are anonymous on them. So they share really good stuff. Facebook groups you can also use, but because they aren't anonymous like the other two, they're not quite as good because people don't tend to be as honest. And really, I don't like Facebook anyway. I don't use it. So I prefer Reddit. You can look at news sites because nowadays every news site leans in one direction or another politically. And so if you find a news site that is aligned to the same political views as your target market, you can get good insights into what they're thinking. Amazon reviews. I used to use these all the time when I was writing copy for a supplement company. And we would go and look at all our competition on Amazon, all our competitor supplements, and see the reviews for them, what people liked and what they didn't like, what they were talking about. But you don't have to be writing for something that is on Amazon to do that. You can look up, for example, books in the same market that you are selling to and go and look at what people are saying about those books. If you are selling real estate services, go and look at books for people who are buying a new house and see what people say in the comments. If you are selling dog training, go look up how to train your dog books and see what people say in the comments. You'll find gold there. YouTube comments. I used to use this when I was writing for a company that sold sewing patterns. I didn't know anything about that, and I went on YouTube and looked at how to sew videos, and the comments there were quite illuminating. I got a lot of really good language out of that. You can Google keywords that the prospect might search for and see what comes up, what websites they are shown. Click those websites, see where they go, join the email list, see what ads are being run, check them out, see what your competition are paying for, what are the top ads. This is a really great way to do research. You can go down the rabbit hole and you are kind of replicating that journey to this moment that people will have had, because maybe one day they woke up with this problem and they started Googling for it. So you can replicate that experience, see what people are finding in that market. And you can also check out comments on popular blogs in the space. Your client might know that. Or you can go on Reddit. Again, if you find a Reddit, many of these will like cross-link to each other. Go on Reddit and they'll be talking about popular websites in the space. And so you go check out those websites and see what articles and what comments are on there. There's all sorts of ways to do this. My recommendation is that you focus on ones where people feel anonymous because they're more likely to be honest and give you good stuff. And people who are anonymous act differently. So how do you figure out which ones you're going to use? There are a few ways to do that. The first is to ask your client in the client survey. And they are usually going to be a good source on this. They will know because they're usually in the market themselves. If they don't know, you can ask the market in the market survey. Now that's technically cheating because surveying the market is stage 3 of my research paradigm. But maybe you want to do that. You want to survey the customer list or whatever, or survey people and ask them, hey, what websites do you read? And then you can cycle back to here and go check out those websites for yourself. Like I said, you can do your own Googling. That's a really effective way, and I do that often. Reddit and forums are usually a really good place to go, as well as Amazon, so I use that stuff often. But ultimately, this is going to be different on every job and every niche, so do what works. I know there are some copywriting courses that say like forums and Amazon are the 2 best places. That's true for a very narrow kind of sales copy, but it's not true for everything. Like I said, once I wrote sales letters using stuff I'd found on YouTube comments. So this is going to be different for every job, every market. I cannot give you a one-size-fits-all plan. You should just be doing these things that you can see here to find out what would be appropriate for this particular job. Now, here is the basic process that we're going to be following for this introverted research. No matter what media you find, you're going to find your audience. Maybe that is a subreddit. Maybe it's a forum that you find. Maybe it's a Facebook group. Maybe it is YouTube comments. Maybe they're all gathered together on this news site or a membership site. Wherever they are, you're going to find them. That is the first step. The second step is to read what they're saying and start noting it down. What are they saying about their identity, problems, dreams, and obstacles? What stories are they telling? What are they revealing about their journey to this moment? Are they talking about, how they first discovered this problem? What are you finding? And thirdly, write that stuff down on your customer Zukan document and keep going until you stop finding new stuff. That's basically my process for introverted research in 3 steps. Obviously, there's a lot of variables in there, like is it on Reddit or is it on Amazon or whatever, but that is the exact process that I follow. Now, it's not a neat and ordered process. It's really messy, really, really messy. So don't freak out, and you're going to watch me do it. You're going to watch over my shoulder in some of the videos coming up as I do this before your eyes, and you're going to see how I do it. Now, I did say that I would be showing you at each stage of my research framework when you can stop, because that's the whole point of this system, right? You know when you've done enough research. Well, you can stop on introverted research when you can find enough data on this market online, because sometimes you hit gold in a Reddit. People are just spilling their guts. They're sharing everything. There's a subreddit dedicated exactly to this problem, and you have this amazing stuff. And you're like, well, I know I don't really need to do much more. You can stop there if you find that. If you don't have access to any customer list to survey, if the client won't let you, or they just don't have them, or they're really small, like less than 50 people, well, there isn't going to be much point in moving ahead further to the surveying stage. So you'll have to stop with introverted research and just be content with what you get from your client and what you can find online. Or if the project value is under roughly $1,000 or 10 hours of your time, and they're very ballpark figures, but roughly, if you're not being paid that much, it's probably not going to make sense to spend the time doing a whole ton of survey analysis and so on, unless you want to go over and above and over deliver. But the whole point is that we're only doing what we need to for the job. And if a client is not paying you for something, then, you're not obliged to deliver it to them. Good clients who want good service should be paying for the time for you to spend your time to do it. Now, sometimes introverted research is enough. And I do want to point that out. Even though I have 3 more stages in my system, sometimes you will find enough in this stage. And there are some great sales letters that have been written without going any further. However, on the other hand, there are a lot of copywriters who never go any further than this. Like, this is the definition of market research for them. They don't even think of doing anything further. And I don't think that's good. I think sometimes you should go further, and it is worth moving on to other stages. I almost always do. But enough telling you about all this. Now let me show you. And I am going to show you some actual videos of me doing this so you can watch exactly how it works.